Graduands and guests are asked to remain seated when the procession enters the auditorium.
I declare open this congregation of the University of Sussex. I'm delighted as Chancellor to welcome you formally to this graduation ceremony. And thanks to all those involved in the brand new film that you saw just before we came in, What Does Sussex Mean to You?, which was produced by Fat Sand with the generous, very generous support of University Council member Arjo Ghosh. Thank you. The warmest of welcomes to our honoured guests, our distinguished faculty members, and to those of the professional services here at Sussex. But the warmest of welcomes are for you, our graduands, and your families and friends that join you here today. And for those who couldn't make it in person and may be watching via live video stream. Hello. Good morning, good day, good evening, good night, wherever you happen to be in the world. It is a profound honour for us that you chose Sussex as your place of study, and that graduands from all over the world will be receiving their degrees at these ceremonies. And on that note, just a quick word to our foreign students. I want to thank you for playing your part in making us a global university. I know how hard it can be to travel so far and at such expense and to try and get to grips with a different culture, language, a different set of values and modes of behavior. To overcome those hurdles, unfamiliarity and homesickness, to remain focused and resolute. You've been a credit to your university, your families, and your countries. And to our homegrown graduands, thank you for confounding the oft-taken view in wider society about the value of a formal education, that it somehow reflects an abdication of social responsibility, that the so-called real world begins when education ends. Many at our winter graduations in particular are living examples that learning is a lifelong pursuit, not attaching itself to age, social background, or specific period in one's life. None of us can be unaware of how much strife there seems to be around the world at this moment in time, particularly as it's reported to us via the media, often as an ideological, or to me an illogical set of differences that acts merely to highlight the differences between us rather than what we have in common. It can be pretty depressing sometimes, but I saw a wonderful tweet recently ascribing the following to Mr. Fred Rogers, who was an American educator who had a kids show on American TV for 30 years called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And he said this was in the tweet: "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.' To this day, especially in times of disaster, I remember my mother's words, and I'm always comforted by realizing there are still so many helpers, so many caring people in the world." All of you graduands here today, by coming to this place of learning and hopefully fun, together are the shining example of how the world can be. That differences can be respected, altercations can be settled through discourse and disagreement. Disagreement doesn't need to be interpreted as an attack on your very soul. My mother used to say to me that an insult only becomes one once you've accepted it as an insult. Of course, if I disagreed with her, she'd just smack me around the head until I did agree with her. But I mean, that's a minor thing. Your time at Sussex, for me, is the best illustration that the human race is a race that can only be won together. I know that a lot of you have persevered to get to this day whilst struggling to balance your studies with home life, raising children, personal loss, sickness, trying to survive on overdrafts, loans, or family help. You, every one of you, have taken all that on, and being here now is irrefutable proof that you've emerged victorious. It's your commitment to seeing this journey through, despite the million reasons not to, that we're really celebrating here today. And wow, what a journey. From that first day at kindergarten or nursery, when your parents abandoned you, to a teacher that looked like a 1970s Soviet women's shot put champion, despite your protestations that you really, really, really didn't want to go to school that day, to the day that your parents said, "One day you will go to big school," and you realized that they'd lied to you again, because it wasn't just one day, was it? It was over a decade of going to big school. From those early days when not only did your parents dress you, but also took photographs of you so they could embarrass you 20 years later with them, to the day you dressed yourself and they looked at you with that, "You seriously going out dressed like that?" look. But those families have been with you every step of the way to this moment in time. So graduands and lecturers, a round of applause for the families and friends. Now, you're probably thinking, please get on with it. All we want to do is get across the stage without losing our mortarboards or tripping over our gowns and landing in someone's lap on the front row. What a choice of laps you have here today. It's like the Grand Budapest Hotel meets 50 Shades of Grey. I'll give you a second. And finally, on a technical note, I don't care whether you've been up here before or not. I don't really care how old you are, how brainy brilliant you are, or anything. You haven't actually got your degrees yet. Because you're graduands, not graduates. And you getting one may just depend on how much love you show me when you come up here. I know it's your day, and feel free to express who you are as you walk across this stage within legal limits, but no love, no degree. And families and friends, this is a glorious opportunity to really embarrass your loved ones as they come up here. So when the time comes, please have your cameras ready and feel free to make as much noise as your vocal cords can muster as your superstar crosses the stage. If any of you graduands are here today on your own, I'll be your family or friend. So you're not here alone, okay? I call upon the Vice-Chancellor to address the congregation.
Chancellor, Mr. Mayor, graduands, 50 Shades of Grey, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, not bad, not bad. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Much better, fantastic. So it's a real pleasure for me to add my welcome to this graduation ceremony. Graduation is one of the highlights of our academic year, a day for celebration, and one where you mark a significant achievement in your life. It's a great honor and privilege to be able to share your happiness with you today. As the Chancellor said, although graduation has its formal aspects, and you'll see we have made a bit of an effort and dressed up for the occasion, the Chancellor has also indicated, and he means it, that it's a time to relax, have fun, and family and friends do all you possibly can to embarrass your loved ones as they walk, run, dance, trip, cartwheel across the stage. Now, during the last 5 years, the university has grown substantially, so it's not surprising that we are graduating more students in these winter ceremonies than ever before. Nearly 2,000 of you will cross this stage during these ceremonies, with ages ranging from 20 to 77 years, coming from 112 different nations. What an amazing reflection of the diversity and truly global reach of Sussex. Sussex has an outstanding reputation for world-leading research, and many of you graduating today have contributed to this. Our growth strategy will ensure that we continue to be a globally competitive, research-intensive university. In the government's latest Research Excellence Framework, a major assessment of university research, which only comes around every 6 or so years, 98% of our research was assessed as world-leading, internationally excellent, or internationally recognized. This is an outstanding result. Our new strategic plan, Making the Future, goes even further and affirms that the university's commitment to research must go beyond the bounds of academia. Impact beyond the bounds of academia. Many of our impact cases submitted to the Research Excellence Framework showed that our research is making a real difference to people's lives, whether this is in healthcare, influencing policy in low-income countries, or digitizing history. Our future strategy states clearly that we will enhance our international focus. 25% of our students now are from overseas, and we celebrate an increasingly internationally diverse teaching and research staff. Sussex has a reputation for being a place where people from all over the world can make friends easily. Last year, the university teamed up with the Students' Union to host One World Week, a celebration of international diversity and a way to promote understanding of global issues. It was such a success that we've committed to making it an annual event. The tragic events in France earlier this month endorsed for me the importance for universities to remain united, promoting understanding across national, political, and religious boundaries, and offering opportunities to dispel prejudice and xenophobia. As well as thinking globally, we act locally. The university contributes to Brighton and the South East in many ways. We already contribute about £600 million a year to the British economy, and more than 2/3 of that goes to our local economy. And we're helping small businesses to get off the ground too. Through our Sussex Innovation Centre, we offer startups a range of support in developing business strategy, finance, marketing and sales, PR and research. We plan to extend our reach later this year when we will open a branch of the Innovation Centre in the centre of Croydon, as well as a Brighton branch later next year in 2016. In parallel with the growth in students and academic faculty, we're continuing to enhance the campus to a quality that we believe will provide an unparalleled experience for students and staff. At the beginning of this academic year, we provided a new home for our rapidly growing School of Law, Politics and Sociology. And later this year, we will open our refurbished arts centre, the Attenborough Centre for Creative Arts, in memory of our former Chancellor, Lord Richard Attenborough. We're now planning a major new life sciences building and a further expansion of our campus student residential accommodation, providing something like an additional 2,500 beds. So we can meet our target of having at least 40% of our students in university housing. There are, however, some challenges ahead. We are well aware of the heavy financial pressures faced by all of our students and concerned that these pressures are only going to increase in the future. We were encouraged, however, by the recent announcement that loans will be available next year for postgraduate students. Sussex is also making an important contribution to ease the pressure by creating additional scholarships. These include the Sussex Graduate Scholarships and the Chancellor's Master's Scholarships, which are in addition to our international scholarships. I hope that some of you graduating in this ceremony will have been able to take advantage of these schemes. Many of you here today will have come to Sussex from overseas, and I want to say a few words especially to you. Our university would be a very different place without you, and we thank you for your contribution to making Sussex such a diverse and vibrant place to be, a place where students and staff from across the world work and play together and learn to live together. We acknowledge that the visa application process remains excessively bureaucratic, and we continue to make the case to our Home Office that our international students are not immigrants, but highly valued guests. You make a vital intellectual contribution to our research and taught programs and make it possible for the university to create a global community on campus. You also remain extremely important to us when you return home, as we believe you are our best ambassadors in your own country, and for that we thank you. At a predominantly postgraduate graduation ceremony like this, we get a sense of the huge diversity of graduating students. Of course, some of today's graduands are themselves parents, some with children still at home. To you, I offer special congratulations. Balancing family life and study is a real challenge. My warmest congratulations to you. Now, I've told you a few things about the university's progress over the last year or so, but something I've learnt since coming to Sussex is that people seem to like it better the less I speak. So we've put together a short film in which our students, some of you, reflect on their Sussex experience, consider the future, and send a farewell message.
Happy.
Daunted.
Proud.
Excited.
Nervous.
Very, very emotional.
Very scared.
I would say it was fantastic.
On my first day at university, I was really eager to get going.
All the clubs, definitely.
the diversity of the people who live here.
Good people, good weather. When the sun's out, you just can't beat it.
The rain.
Comedy festival. Probably like musical opportunities, the chances to play music.
The beach. Brighton as a city. I like the idea of multiculturalism, but also I like the nightlife. It's really beautiful.
Comprehensive.
Inspiring.
Excellent.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Intense. Excellent.
Pushing the boundaries for being applied in the real world.
It's excellent. The research quality is so good. So good. The academic experience at Sussex has been invaluable.
One world.
I would definitely say the student support unit.
Childcare center.
Reopening of the Attenborough Centre.
The family accommodation.
The university's biggest success, in my opinion, is the tutors.
Biggest success this year has been winning varsity, in which we beat Brighton University in almost all the sporting events we played them at over the course of the day.
Exploring other culture.
To work with a group of people.
Practical skills I need for my career.
You know, struggling with our own fears.
Stay calm.
Your hard work will be rewarded.
To enjoy your time, because it goes really quickly. It just has taught me just to stay strong, whatever happens. You just have to carry on doing what you love.
The big life lesson I learned at uni is that money disappears surprisingly quickly.
Relieved, but also really proud.
Sad.
And excited and happy.
Excited, but sad that I'm leaving Sussex.
Really excited.
I just hope I'm not the one that falls.
Accomplishment.
It means a lot because I want my mom to see me. Yeah, on my graduation day, I will feel sad. Like every adventure will come to an end.
Congratulations, graduates. The world is your oyster, and if you can see, it's not the greatest day, but there's always silver linings to aim for, so just try your best, and it'll always come through.
Congratulations, everyone. We've made it!
What's coming next is going to be a blast. Well done, guys. You smashed it.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations, everyone. I'm so proud of you. We did it. Congratulations to all graduates and also parents. It's the end of our journey, but it's the beginning of our future. Congratulations!
And can I offer my very special thanks to all of you who took part in that video, and to Carrie Prue and our communications team who were responsible for the production. And now a few words to families and friends. Firstly, can I join the Chancellor in thanking you for the support that you have given your sons and daughters, your partners, your spouses, and in some cases, your parents and other family members during their time at Sussex, for it has helped make today a reality. Many of you will have made great sacrifices to help your loved ones get to this point today. The university fully recognises the important role that you have played and offers you our sincere thanks. Graduands, I hope that your experiences at Sussex have extended way beyond the formal limits of your degree, and that they will have gone some way to prepare you for the future. But remember, this is not the end of education, just a point on a lifelong journey of learning. I hope also that you will be able to take our values, such as freedom, tolerance, equality, social responsibility, and honesty, forward into the next stage of your life. I would ask you to remember the multinational community that you have created here at Sussex and build on those experiences as you go out in the wider world. Sadly, we still live in a world where poverty, catastrophe, and conflict abound. We all have the responsibility to play our part to promote societal change, and I look to you and your Sussex experience to go out in the world and really make a difference. As you think about the new life that will begin to unfold when you leave the ceremony today, I would ask you to keep some time and space in your heart for Sussex. You will always be part of the Sussex family, and it is likely that we will need you in the future, perhaps more than you will need the university. You will, of course, be joining an illustrious group of alumni, many of whom have made major contribution to the worlds of politics, government, academia, the creative industries, business, international development, and so on. You name it, and you will find Sussex graduates worldwide changing lives, making an impact. Our alumni relations team will make sure we stay in contact wherever you might be in the future. And finally, let me take this opportunity to say again how proud of you we are and offer you our sincere congratulations. I wish all of you every good fortune for your chosen futures and hope that your experience at Sussex has gone some way to prepare you for the next stage of your life. My very best wishes to you all. I call upon the head of the School of Engineering and Informatics, Professor Diane Miners.
Chancellor, I will now present to you for the Certificate of Higher Education in Computing for Digital Media, Michael Baker. For the Diploma of Higher Education in Electronic Engineering, Robert Wood. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, Elomo El Iso. For Games and Multimedia Environments, Andrei Savic. Luke Small. For Multimedia and Digital Systems, Raquel Parker. For Music Informatics, Tristan Strange. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Abbas Akinola Akari Egbe Amy. For the degree of Master of Science in Advanced Computer Science, Jonathan Perry. Paul Michael Sohaindo. For Advanced Mechanical Engineering, Peter Peyer. For Computing with Digital Media, Shamil Lavev. For Digital Communication Systems, Sher Inkason Yakovonfan. Zayexing Shu. For Digital Communication Systems with Business Management, Yingfan Miao. For Engineering Business Management, Yi Guang Wang. For Evolutionary and Adaptive Systems, Manuel Baltieri. Jade Foster. Joe Arthur Christopher Rayner. For Human-Computer Interaction, Mikhail Fordor. Hayden Slaughter. For Information Technology with Business and Management, Mark Addison. Emre Bakaluluyu. Carolina Davis. Xiaoyu Fan. Antria Orefando. Yotala Carolina Rosechka. Jian She Shao. For Intelligent Systems, Sean Chapman. Evgeny Labzin. Joseph Gerard Taylor. Christopher John Walker. Thomas Woodall. For Management of Information Technology, Lian Jin Xie. Qian Xin. For Mechanical Engineering, Panagiotis Aliosis. For Sustainable Energy Technology, Abde Odmola Egbeami. Mosomi Onyigo. Chancellor, I will now present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. For the thesis, Sustainable Control of Infestations Using Image Processing and Modeling, Fina Faith Praise. Well done. For the thesis, individual differences in synesthesia and the rest, qualitative and fMRI investigations on the impact of synesthetic phenomenology. Nearly. Cassandra Gould. Well done. For the thesis, Economically Sustainable Public Security and Emergency Network Exploiting a Broadband Communication Satellite, La Sisi Salame Lawal. Well done. For the thesis, the Playthrough Evaluation Framework, Reliable Usability Evaluation for Video Games, Gareth White. Well done. Chancellor, this concludes the list of graduates from the School of Engineering and Informatics.
I call upon the head of the School of Life Sciences, Professor Lawrence Pearl.
Thank you. Chancellor, I present to you, for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Lauren Holliday. Congratulations. For Molecular Medicine, Hannah Faith Lee. For the degree of Master of Science in Genetic Manipulation and Molecular Cell Biology, Negar Afshar. Mohammed Afiq Aziz. Julian Michael David Cano Flanagan. Rebecca Clare. Daniel Gunton. Jeffrey Ingram. Dominic Eric Murray. Steve Plum. Susanna Sedlakova. Marsha Moniaga Sindato. Hannah Tian. Alina Tyson. Robert Vingo. Chancellor, I will now present to you for the degree of Master of Philosophy, for the thesis, The Effects of Parasitism on Personality in a Social Insect, Joe Turner. Chancellor, I will now present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. For the thesis, Chemical and Biochemical Studies of Dityrosine Crosslink Formation in Amyloidogenic Peptides, Yusra Al-Hilali. For the thesis, novel function for the BAF180 tumor suppressor, insights from mammalian and yeast systems, Peter Brownlee. For the thesis, helping the honeybee and other flower-visiting insects in urban areas, Mikhail Garbutsov. Congratulations. For the thesis, the development and chemistry of novel phosphocarbones and their derivatives, Amy Saunders. Congratulations, Amy. Chancellor, this concludes the list of graduands from the School of Life Sciences.
I call upon the head of the School of Psychology, Professor Tom Ormerod.
Chancellor, I present to you for the Certificate of Higher Education in Psychology, Ria Ghosh. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Psychology, Joanne Bailey. Zoe Bora Pittman. Guisen Singos. Robin Johnston. Farhana Malek. Sarah Rowe. For Psychology with Neuroscience, Isabel Mercer. For the degree of Master of Research in Psychological Methods, Charlotte Buckley. Seymour Millen. Jasmine Williamson. Yuri Yakovlev. For the degree of Master of Science in Applied Social Psychology, Holly Constable. Noura Elwer. Emma Heron. Little premature there. Emma Heron. Elena Candoba. Zara Nabavi. Samantha Pendleton. Matthew Reed. Chantal Lara Woodford. For cognitive neuroscience, Rebecca Elizabeth Barton. Lisa Caruana Finkel. Caroline Chalk. Stephanie Clayton. Heather Miyoko Iri. Gabriella Marquette Smith. Marco Puente de la Vega. Charlotte Victoria Rawlinson. Oluwa Damimola Segun Akintayo. Alice Skelton. Mary Louise Turner. Tim Vesna. Thomas Whitehurst. For experimental psychology, Elizabeth Kate Atkinson. Caris Emma Gwen Barnfield. Tahir Beidola. Brid Blackburn. Sarah Craven Wardle. Adam Crowther. Rebecca Goodall. Nathaniel Greer. Gabriel Raphael Imran Hassan. Hannah May. Jack Mead. Julia Mehmet. Sally Merriott. Aisling Stringer. Alice Waits. Henry Wood Downey. For Foundations of Clinical Psychology and Mental Health, Jodie Allen. Chian Mei Ang. Christina Callan. Fanny Chandru. Julie Cumming. Susanna Cox. James Day. Hannah Droscher. Valerie Dua Nantwi. Jay Horseman. Amit Jagdev. Nezia Kuchuk. Amy Lane. Joanne Mitchell. Lara Suzanne Petfield. Ali Schnien. Luke David Slater. Chancellor, I now present to you for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. For the thesis, Unconscious Processing at the Subjective Threshold, Semantic Comprehension, Anna Marie Armstrong. For the thesis, psychosocial predictors of alcohol consumption among undergraduate students, developing intervention strategies. Katie Atwell. For the thesis, expression of gender in the human voice, investigating the gender code. Valentina Carte. For the thesis, lifestyle factors and Alzheimer-type dementia, the link between exercise and cognitive change. Nicholas Farina. For the thesis, Actualizing Therapy 2.0, enhancing engagement with computerized cognitive behavioral therapy for common mental health disorders. Rebecca Grist. For the thesis, The Transition to Parenthood, a prospective study of parental mental health, family relationships, and infant development. Eva Parfit. Congratulations. For the thesis, Exaggerated Impulsivity, easy tiger, a cause or consequence of adolescent repeated ethanol withdrawal. Sandra Sanchez Ruiz. For the thesis, Cognitive and brain structural effects of long-term, high-effort endurance exercise in older adults. Are there measurable benefits? Jeremy Young. Congratulations. Chancellor, this concludes the list of graduands from the School of Psychology.
Chancellor, I present to you graduands who are unable to graduate with their schools of study. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Social Work, Nicole Brett. Epi Musona. Linda Sayoki. And Francesca Waller. For the degree of Master of Science in Computing with Digital Media, Redwan Hamo. For the degree of Master of Science in Digital Communication Systems with Business Management, Cheng Gung. For the degree of Master of Science in Embedded Digital Systems, Runshin Tui. For the degree of Master of Science in Information Technology with Business and Management, Ling Kai Huang. For the degree of Master of Science in Foundations of Clinical Psychology and Mental Health, Christopher Russo. Chancellor, this is the time when you have a few moments just to reflect on whether you believe you've had sufficient lerve during this ceremony to confer the degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Did everybody get that? Oh, yeah. Chancellor, you have now met all the graduates being presented to you at this ceremony, and the moment has come for the formal conferral of degrees of the University of Sussex. I therefore ask you to confer their degrees on those presented to you and to the other graduates who have indicated their wish to graduate in absentia at this ceremony.
I formally confer degrees on all those referred to by the Vice-Chancellor. Congratulations, you've done it. Well, that was pretty great for me. How was it for you? And it's also, it's rare at my age that I can say that, you know, on a Friday morning in Sussex, I got picked up by a woman. So thank you for allowing me to use that sentence. No, I won't explain it to the wife. Congratulations, everyone, and well done, family and friends. Some of you were truly embarrassing. Respect. That's great. So, graduates, as your time here at Sussex draws to a close, we hope that you will remain with us in hearts and thoughts as alumni, as mentioned at the beginning by the Vice-Chancellor. The Alumni Association isn't just there to keep you up to date with what's going on and arrange get-togethers and the like. It's a fundamental resource for the future graduates of the university. Like you at one stage, many of those students will be living away from home for the first time, having new responsibilities thrust upon them, dealing with debt for the first time, trying to negotiate those tricky waters of friendships and relationships. And they could do no better than to tap into the knowledge, opinions, and experiences of those that have experienced it firsthand before. So I hope that as many of you as possible will get involved with the various programs designed to help students with their development and their employability. There are those present here today that are associated with your success that look upon these days with huge fondness and great pride. So please show your appreciation for your teachers, tutors, and staff. Now, whether your next step is gainful employment, the search for it, further academic study, or simply some time out, I wish you all the very, very best. In closing the ceremony, the Chancellor of a university is supposed to say something inspiring or impart some wisdom. Since I spend most of my time seeking inspiration from others, and the only thing that connects me and the word wisdom is the word teeth, I'm sorely underqualified to provide you with either. But since, we've dressed up and you're here and we've paid the rent on the room, I'll chuck a few thoughts your way. You can do with them what you like. I mean, if you reject them, that's fine by me. It's your choice. But recently I was thinking that the thing that sits there, there's a word that sits there, particularly on days like these, which many people regard with great suspicion and fear, and that word is the future. That's two words, but future is one word. So's the. Anyway, I'm getting into semantics. You hear a lot of, think of the future. What about the future? You must plan for the future. Actually, there's nothing wrong with any of those statements, unless it leads to a fear of the future. Fear of the future, I think, leads to a paralysis in the present. Ultimately, it's the fear of the unknown. That's got to be it, hasn't it? I mean, so we kind of stick to what we know. Better the devil you know. And we kind of end up thinking that, change, which is inevitable, we know it's inevitable, and therefore the future, the unknown, is a fearful place to be. But yet we all agree that the future is unpredictable. When I graduated, the country was in deep, deep recession. There were precious few jobs, houses were being repossessed, businesses were failing at an alarming rate. I ended up in debt. I sued a company that I was working for. I did a marketing degree, and so the company I was working for then, I ended up suing them for breach of contract. And it took them 2 years to settle with me out of court, and during that time I couldn't get any kind of job at all. And hence ended up in debt as well. And I hit 30 at that point as well. So all my peers were kind of way ahead of me. I thought, well, I've hit 30. I can't see an end to this litigation at the time. I'm in debt. It all looked and felt very, very bleak. So initially I got depressed for about a month. And then I started watching movies. And that made me slightly less depressed, but I still wasn't doing anything. And after about 3 months, I then volunteered at my local hospital just to do something. And I started to write. I'd always written, but I thought, well, I've got time, so let me write. And got together with a friend of mine who's a musician who was also not working. And I said, well, why don't we just get together and do something? It'll just fill time, and, we're being creative. And we got together, and we just started to perform in very small venues. So we were in a studio space in South London, which had a capacity of about 40 or 50 people. And at one of these performances, there was a producer from the BBC who, I guess, liked what I was doing and invited me to help create a comedy sketch show. So at this point I was 31. And by 33, I was in an award-winning TV show that was being shown around the world, and it then opened up a most wonderful life. But my point about it is that it was totally unpredictable. Right place, right time. I mean, you have to be in to win. I was being proactive, but not with a particular aim. And then I also then think about the posters I had on my wall when I was a teenager, and looking up at those, and it kind of still really stuns me that the number of those people on those posters that I've now met, and in some cases become friends with. And if I, telling my 15-year-old self that was going to happen one day, of course I wouldn't have believed it. Again, it was unpredictable. And going back further, to my teenage years, some of you may know this, but Sussex was my first choice when I was applying for universities. And I didn't get in. Apparently my grades weren't good enough. So I took my business elsewhere. That showed them. And I waited. I waited until all those people who were responsible for me not getting in had either retired, been deported, were in prison, or just became plain dead, and I got back in as Chancellor. And so my... So I mean, in the School of Psychology will understand this, that the deep moral message of the story is and it's unpredictable. All of those moments, when I was 30, in my teenage years, when I was applying to Sussex, all of those things felt really, really bleak. I mean, there were bleak moments. And, the thing with difficulties is that they can be all-encompassing. They can define your world at any particular point. So, from the other side of hopelessness, when I look back at those years, I no longer see them as kind of periods of abject failure, as I did then. I see a subconscious gathering of experiences, some difficult, that have enabled me to survive for almost 2 decades in a far healthier state of mind. I see, when I look back, an education in life matters and relationships that today allow me to help my kids in a less theoretical way, and to viscerally value the depth of friendships and relationships, and the importance of your choice when choosing who to surround yourself with. And I suppose more importantly for me is that I now realize that I wasn't the loser that I thought I was then. I was just success in waiting. But I just didn't know it. And I felt successful ever since. And I don't mean kind of, wealth, mansions, sports cars and stuff, which I don't have yet. But it's because I don't define myself anymore by a bad day or a bad week or a bad month or even a bad year. I had a bad decade, but I came out of it. And I know that empirically that I always will. And I feel successful because I've become aware that my life is described by the meaning I give it. There's a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, who told me that on hearing someone say, "Life is meaningless," he said, "Yes, it is. It is meaningless." So it only has the meaning that you put into it, positive or negative. And I've also kind of come to realize that the picture that I see, no matter how detailed and complete I think it is never the whole picture. I realize that I have choice, always have had, and particularly choice to respond. The emotional response to something is my choice. Not saying that it's easy, but the choice is there. And I choose to seek inspiration from people and moments that move me, that make me feel good about myself and the world that we're in. And all the people that I've chosen to be friends with, and I'm inspired by all of them, and have chosen me, I hope, all have one element in common, I realize, and that is boundless compassion. They consistently express their humanity in thought, word, and deed, either instinctively or, for someone like me, I work at it. But they listen, they empathize, they give, not for adulation or respect, but because they're simply expressing who they are. That's who they are. As Maya Angelou, the great American poet, said, people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. People will never forget the way you made them feel. And I think that's very true. I hope I've learned to be curious and principled, but not rigid, to make mistakes, but try to never repeat them. If I'm going to make a mistake, I hope it's a new one. A person who keeps making the same mistake is an idiot. You don't want to be an idiot. And then also from that, being generous about other people's mistakes. Somebody might have the solution to a really vital problem that could change the world or solve an insurmountable obstacle before you. And that same person might be wrong about every other thing. So it's always worth hearing them out. And I hope I've learned to have the courage of my convictions, which for me it means allowing your convictions to be tested fully so you can know them better. And if someone puts forward an argument that reveals your conviction to be incomplete, modify your principle. Don't be afraid to change it, adapt. It won't be the defeat of your principle, it'll be the evolution of it. As a great Chinese philosopher, Lao Tzu, said, if you do not change direction, you may end up where you're heading, which is linked to one of my favorite Winston Churchill quotes, which is, if you find yourself in hell, keep going. So I've learned that no experience at all need be wasted. If you're not enjoying something, then what are you learning from it? And if you're not enjoying it and you're not learning from it, why are you doing it? Stop, do something else. There's a story from a film, actually, which was a story about two mice that fell into a bowl of cream and couldn't get out. And one mouse decided that, oh, this is impossible, and gave up and drowned. And the other mouse splashed and thrashed and struggled and splashed and squirmed around until all the cream had been churned into butter and he stepped out of the bowl. Sometimes the struggle is the solution. I believe that we're the sum total of all our choices and experiences, but what constantly defines us is always, always what we do next. That is the clearest indication of who we are. It's something that struck me yesterday, I think, which was that, you know, in times of difficulty, we can all, I'm assuming we can all handle the good times, because, you know, I hope that's a given. But, you know, in difficult times, whatever they are, for me, it struck me that the universe is saying to you at those moments, who are you? Who are you? And because if I'd been asked that question when I was 30, and someone said, who are you? I would have said, I'm some loser who hasn't got a job in 2 years, and I'm hugely in debt. And if somebody had asked me 2 years later, who are you? I would have said, well, I'm this guy on TV, and I have a nice flat. And it's that precarious. And that can't be who I am. That's circumstance, surely. So I kind of try to redefine myself, and hence, you know, the choices in terms of the friendships, which was that, you know, kindness, compassion, empathy, sympathy. If I have those, it kind of doesn't matter when you ask me who I am. I can tell you. So that may be a question for you to ponder. Because we are creative. I mean, we're all creative. We're constantly creating, and therefore, we must be able to constantly create a better self, a better version of ourselves, every second, every minute, every day. Again, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's a choice, right? As Einstein said, logic can take you from A to B. Your imagination take you anywhere. So don't skimp on your dreams. I'll leave you with a couple of quotes. As one by the Dalai Lama, who said, there are only 2 days in the year that nothing can be done. One is called yesterday, and the other is called tomorrow. So today is the right day to love, believe, do, and mostly live. And finally, one from Charles M. Schulz that I love, who created the Peanuts cartoon, who said, stop worrying about the world ending today. It's already tomorrow in Australia. So my friends, yesterday is for the archivists, tomorrow is for the fortune tellers, but today belongs to you. I believe we can only build a fabulous tomorrow on the foundations of a great today. And so thank you for letting me be part of your great today. Be creative, dream big, be passionate, be compassionate, and never, never give up. I wish you all happiness and good fortune in everything you do. I officially declare this graduation closed.